I'm on the smaller side and I'm looking to get bigger. I've been lifting heavy and eating healthy, but I'm not putting on the mass I'd hoped for. Give it to me straight. How much muscle can I expect to put on naturally? How many times have you heard actors say they gained 30 or 40 pounds of muscle for a film in a matter of months? You sit there in disbelief, wondering what type of diet and training program they were on, who their trainer is, and what you have to do to bulk up and mimic the ripped physique by next month. Well, I'm here to break it to you easily. It's virtually impossible for someone who's been training regularly to gain 30 to 40 pounds of muscle in a couple of months, or even a year. The only person with the ability to potentially gain 18 to 20 pounds of muscle in a year is a gym newbie, someone who's never lifted weights or trained before. Why? Their genetic muscular potential hasn't been activated yet. In other words, they haven't even approached their greatest gains. An experienced trainee, on the other hand, has hit or neared his potential, making lean muscle fat-free gains much slower. Still questioning your progress? Let's review some expert opinions. But before we start, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on post notifications to keep up with our updates. Arogon's natural lean muscle mass gain model. According to Arogon, one of the most respected nutritionists in the world, advanced trainees near their genetic potential are lucky to gain 0.25% to 0.5% of their total body weight gain as fat-free muscle per month. That makes the 10-pound gain claims of already ripped celebrities seem outrageous, right? In my opinion, it's rare to see a natural bodybuilder or fitness enthusiast close to their genetic muscular potential gain more than 2 to 3 pounds of lean muscle in a year. This is why it's an accomplishment when experienced bodybuilders manage to gain 7 to 10 pounds of fat-free muscle in a year. Lyle McDonald's natural lean muscle mass gain model, provided that they follow a sensible, structured diet and a training program, a 150-pound beginner fitness enthusiast in Arogon's model can potentially gain 18 to 27 pounds of lean muscle per year. A 170-pound intermediate fitness enthusiast can potentially gain 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. Another expert, Lyle McDonald, offers a natural lean muscle mass theory that's slightly different from Arogon's theory, placing more emphasis on hormonal changes and age. McDonald believes that you can naturally gain 40 to 50 pounds of muscle in a weightlifting career. So, if 5,000 calories per day is overkill, what's a good range? That depends on your activity level. Below are recommendations for the International Sports Science Association based on workout regularity. The ISSA Daily Caloric Consumption Theory for Bulking. Tips on lean muscle mass gain for naturals. It starts with nutrition. In terms of daily caloric consumption for lean muscle mass gains and minimal fat gain is the 16 calories per pound ratio. For example, if you're a 200-pound person and you're on a 16 calorie per pound bulking diet, you would consume 3,200 calories at a ratio of 40% protein, 40% carbs, and 20% fat. It also leans on exercise. According to a study, short duration, high-intensity activities are the key to fat loss and muscle preservation. In fact, sprinting was actually found to increase muscle size if limited to roughly 20 minutes per day. You don't need to lift the whole gym to make your muscles grow, but you want to lift heavier, you have to add stress and tension to muscles to make them grow. It is amazing how many muscle building programs out there promise that you'll be looking like the Incredible Hulk if you eat more than 5,000 calories each day. Sure, you'll look like a Hulk of fat. Many of these programs cause you to gain an enormous amount of unnecessary fat, giving the illusion that you put on muscle. The number on the scale might increase, but the likelihood that lean muscle gains are the cause is slim. Never rely on the scale as an indicator of how much muscle you put on, because it doesn't differentiate between lean muscle and fat. The only way to determine how much lean muscle you have is to get an underwater body fat test to break down your numbers on fat-free lean muscle mass weight versus body fat. Anytime you're in a bulking program where your goal is to put on muscle, it's inevitable that you're going to gain a little fat. Just make sure that fat gain is minimal. Once you can separate the myths from the truth about natural muscle gains, you'll be on your way. Train hard, eat healthy, be patient, and it will happen. In reality, Building muscle is hard. It takes consistent effort over a long period of time, and most people aren't prepared to put in that work. So they resort to, "It's my genetics" as the default excuse. That said, there is an obvious genetic component to the discussion. So here's what the research tells us about what's involved in determining how much muscle you can build. Birth weight. According to a 2007 study, higher birth weight is positively associated with greater long-term potential for muscle gain. In fact, for every 1 kilogram difference in birth weight, you can expect 4.1 kilogram of muscle gain over a lifetime. Initial lean mass. A study in 1994 looked at potential muscle gain over a 12-week period. Based on subjects' starting levels of lean mass, the conclusion of the study indicated that the more muscle you have to begin with, the more you'll gain over time. Joint size. An analysis of 501 participants looked at the association between ankle and wrist size and free fat mass, FFM, i.e. muscle. It highlighted a positive correlation between greater joint size and increased FFM. Wider frame. A 2007 study looked at the levels of fat-free mass in power lifters. The research showed a positive association between greater fat-free mass and those athletes with wider frames. So, what conclusions can we draw from this? In a nutshell, your parents have a lot to answer for. Ultimately, how much muscle you can potentially gain over your lifetime is out of your hands. Although, it's worth bearing in mind these studies are looking at associations. Consequently, they're not designed to provide strict limitations. After all, you may be an outlier that defies the trend. Based on the available data, many formulas have been developed to help calculate your genetic potential, the simplest of which is based on height. But these don't cater for variances in physiques. For example, according to these calculations, a taller person will have the potential to build more muscle than a shorter person. However, we've all seen that short, heavy-set dude badass in the gym. Often, comparing yourself to others leave you disheartened and deflated about your own progress. And in many cases, these models and athletes claim to the bitter end they achieved everything naturally. But did they really? In many cases, you can rely on what they say about as much as the supplements they're trying to sell. You might surf through social media and wonder if the physiques you see daily are achievable without a trip to your local underground pharmacy. So, the lesson here is that body fat, lighting, angles, and high-quality photography can enhance the look of any physique. Genetics aside, your ability to build muscle is driven by what you do in and out of the gym. You can have the best genetics in the world, but if you train poorly and half-ass your nutrition, you'll fall short of your potential. So, it's important to focus on putting the basics in place as soon as possible. Then, with consistent execution, you'll begin to build muscle to the extent your genetic potential allows. Factors outside of your control may dictate the ceiling for how much muscle you can build. But this shouldn't deter you from giving your all to training. In truth, most people never come close to their genetic potential. Ineffective training and subpar nutrition results in years of mediocre gains. So, unless you've genuinely maxed out on how much muscle you can build, continue to focus on the basics of training and nutrition, develop consistency, and enjoy the process. And let time take its course. So, have you ever heard about how much muscle you can gain naturally? Do you know of any other way to measure how much muscle you can gain? Let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe.